No one loves a critic, right? But we all need a critical eye on our work to help us get better at what we do. So let's talk about, as creatives, how we can take criticism graciously. Welcome to Allie on Life, where I believe that every life is a beautiful story and I want to help you tell yours. Oh boy, criticism. Who likes it? No one. Who likes giving it? Everyone, right? So, how do we deal with the criticism that we don't want and the criticism that maybe we do want and use it in ways that will help us make our work better? I did a video last year on feedback versus criticism, and one comment asked, well, how do you take criticism though, as a creative or just as a person? And I promised that I would make a video on that, and so finally, here is that video. I've said this before, for a creative, criticism is like calling your baby ugly, right? Because our work is like our baby, and if you say you don't really like it, then, we feel like you've somehow, destroyed us, destroyed our lives, destroyed the thing that we created, and everything is terrible and we just want to die now. I will say it is rude to call someone's baby ugly, and it is rude to be overly critical of a friend or family member's creative work. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. You might think that, it's your job to go around and making sure that everybody knows that what they've done is like terrible or not good enough or not up to your standards or something like that. But if you have a relationship with someone and they have created something and showed it to you, that is a huge level of trust. Don't break that trust by being overly critical. Just don't do it. Be kind, be honest, but don't break their spirit and their soul and their little creative heart by saying that it's terrible and you would have done it differently and blah blah blah, because the fact is you did not do it. So be very careful about how you talk about it. Now, creatives, we need to know that not everyone will be nice. In fact, most people probably won't be. So when harsh criticism comes our way, what do? We need to know how to take it. First, you need to develop a thick skin. Now, yes, everyone will always tell you that, and you never want to hear it because, oh, I am an artist. I must be sensitive to the emotions and the feelings and the vibrations and, just how I find my muse and all that kind of stuff. So, a thick-skinned artist just doesn't make sense, right? We're always going to be sensitive. We're always going to be delicate. We're always going to be dramatic, for lack of a better word. There are lots of words, but we're always going to be those things. And yet we also need to be aware that we can't take absolutely everything super, super personally, right? Because really when it comes down to it, even though the work that you've created has come from your soul and is part of who you are, it is actually not you. It is a work that you have created. And so if someone has an issue with it, you just need to understand that it's an issue with the work. It is not really an issue with you. And so you don't have to take the criticism as, oh, I'm terrible. Oh, I'm a failure. No one will ever appreciate me. No one will ever like what I do. Why do I even bother? Why do I even try? All the things that go through our minds whenever we hear, criticism or anything like that. We have to be able to separate our work from our identity. We just have to. Now, next, I would say to pause before responding. This is very difficult, once again, because we're very sensitive and emotional and dramatic. And it's very easy to feel all the feelings and want to say all the words that come along with all the feelings, but don't. Just stop, zip it, and think about it for a minute before you say anything. It's very difficult for me whenever I ask for feedback on something that I've written and someone gives me the feedback that I've asked for, to not immediately come back point for point for point. This is why I wrote this way. This is why I wrote this way. What are you even criticizing me about this? Because this is why I wrote it and I'm not going to change it. Just wait. Just give it a minute. Think about it before you respond. And the very next step is to think through it. Probably you should think through it before you respond, although you can always respond with, I appreciate the feedback. Thank you. Would you maybe like to know why I made some of these choices? Or can I explain this to you a little bit more, why I decided to do this way? But before you actually do that explanation, think through the criticism and think through how you're going to respond. Because for me, when I sit down and think through it, I might realize, oh, well, that was a painful point, but they're not entirely wrong. And I could actually fix that without compromising my story, for example. So when you think through the criticism, you think through the points and you realize, okay, well, there are some craft issues here. Or I can see how I wasn't very clear in that. Or, you know, if it's a piece of art or, you know, film or something like that. Okay, that's true. Like that shot was out of focus and, you know, that line wasn't very good. And, you know, my shading or blending or whatever, all that kind of stuff. Think through it, process it. That's why we get criticism, so that we can become better in the process. Then if the criticism actually makes sense, respond and adjust. We are creatives. We come up with solutions. If there's a problem with something that we've created, we can fix it, as long as we know that the problem exists and that it needs to be fixed. So if it needs to be fixed, fix it. You can do it. You're smart. You're creative. If the criticism doesn't really land very well, if you've decided that no, it's actually very much opposed to what it is that I'm doing, or the story that I'm telling, or the work that I'm creating, feel free to reject that. Now, you can do it respectfully to the person. You can say, thank you for your opinion, but I am going a different direction, and this is why. Or you just ignore it. I really think the idea of ignoring it is the best way to go. But if someone is just really demanding that you respond, do it respectfully. Now, those are my tips for responding to criticism, but I do have a note about online reviews. They are the worst. People think they are so clever and they have such a high opinion of their own expertise, and who knows who they are, but they get on there on those reviews and just and this and that and blah, 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 and oh, I'm so smart and ow. Just ignore all of the online reviews. Who cares about those people? Don't even look at them. They're pretty much trash. Now, there is an exception, and that is there are some Amazon reviews for different products that are hilarious, like those classic ones about the sugar-free gummy bears. Oh, that's some good reading if you're feeling down on a weekend night or something like that. Look those up. But if it's about your own work, ignore the online reviews. And don't even write them. I'm actually very good at writing reviews because I can do a point-for-point review that's very spoiler-free and really good. And I probably should do more of them, but I avoid it because I just don't like getting into that space where there's all that negativity. I would rather not write them at all than write something hurtful that the creator will then see and be hurt by. That is all for today. I hope that I helped you a little bit. If you have any more questions about taking criticism or feedback, or if I missed something that you want to add, please put that in the comments and we can definitely have a conversation, and I can even make more videos because, as you know, if you comment that I should make a video about something, I will get it done eventually. Thank you so much for watching. Now get out there, be creative, and tell your story because someone needs to hear it. It's like I'm an actress.
Yes.
An award-nominated actress. Oh, that's
Everywhere you go, just use it.
I'm just gonna get a name tag that says award-nominated actress. Did I win the award? I did not, but I was nominated.